Hi folks, welcome back to MetaBox Tutorials. In today's tutorial, we're going to display opening hours for restaurants using MetaBox and Oxygen. In this practice, I will create an opening hour section and put it on the singular page. I've created a singular page of a restaurant as an example. The restaurant is a post of a custom post type named restaurant. And the details of each restaurant will be displayed like this. This page is built by Oxygen. All the information related to the working time of the restaurant will be saved in custom fields stored in the post containing the restaurant's information. Let's see which tools we need. Since we need custom fields, I installed MetaBox here to have a framework for creating custom fields. It's free and available on WordPress.org. I also use some extensions from MetaBox to have advanced features. You can install them individually or just use MetaBox AIO for all. First, MB custom post type and custom taxonomies to help create custom post types for restaurants. Here I've already created a custom post type named restaurants to save all the information about each restaurant. Next, we'll need MetaBox Builder to have an intuitive UI to create custom fields in the back end. The third one is MetaBox Conditional Logic, which allows you to create rules to control the display of the fields. Since we build the page in Oxygen, remember to install it. You should use Oxygen 3.9 or upper to have the native integration with MetaBox. That's all the tools we need for this tutorial. Just create a custom post type as usual. Now, let's create custom fields for the restaurant's post type. We're creating fields with a structure like this. I'll explain a bit about how they work for you to easily get the idea. There are the field group and custom fields that we will create in this practice. To save time and effort when inputting data, I set 3 options in this field. Corresponding to each option, we have different fields show up. If the restaurant has the same opening hours on all days, only this field will be displayed. In this field, there are 4 following options. For the first 3 options, just choose one. But if you want to enter time slots, choose Enter Hours. This button is to add more time slots if the restaurant opens in multiple time slots. For this option, you can probably choose the time you want. If the opening hours on weekdays and weekends are different, these fields will be shown up. All the structures of subfields are the same as the all days have the same opening option as you can see here. In case the restaurant has different opening hours on different days, we have fields for each day like this. Each one of them also has the same options and subfields as the previous. Now, let's create all these fields. I will show you how to configure each one to have this rule of display. For the first field, choose it as Select Field. Then, fill in the choice box with our 3 options. Corresponding to each option, we have a value for it here. Pay attention to them. We'll use them when setting up other fields. For the next field, its all days have the same opening hours. It's a group and just displays only when option 1 in the above field is chosen. So, move to the Advanced tab, and add a rule in the Conditional Logic section. This setting is available when you have the MetaBox Conditional Logic extension activated. This is the ID of the Choose an Option field. And this is the value of its first option. Back to the General tab and create subfields. In this group, the first subfield is a select field as well. We also add options to this box. The second subfield will be a group which includes fields to save the start time and end time. Since we allow users to add more than one time slot, this group is set to be clonable by this tick. These 2 fields display only when you choose the Enter Hours option in the Type of Opening Hours field. So we also add a rule here. This is the ID of the Type of Opening Hours field, and this is the value of the enter hours option. So we've done it for the first option when we have the same opening hours for all days. As I said before, the remaining options have the fields are almost the same as these fields. So I duplicated this group to save time. Then, just change the ID of each field and reset the rules. For the weekdays and weekend fields, change this rule by changing the value of the option here. This is the value of the option difference between weekdays and weekend. This rule also needs to be changed to the right ID of the corresponding field. Next, we will display the day of the week. I will take Monday as an example. The day of the week will be displayed only when the chosen option is custom. So, we also change the rules of it. And, don't forget to change the ID of the subfields inside. For Tuesday, Wednesday, and others, do likewise. Finally, after having all the fields for each day, switch to the Settings tab of the field group, choose Location as post type, and select Restaurant to apply these fields to this post type. Now, when creating a new post in Restaurant, you will see the custom fields here. They work exactly like the rule we set. Let's input some data into fields. Here is the example that I created. We'll display the opening hours section on a single page using Oxygen. Go to Oxygen and choose the template. If you haven't had a template for the single restaurant page, just create a new one. In my case, I've already had it, so just edit it with Oxygen. I will add a new div to include the opening hour section in this position. Since Oxygen does not support logic to choose which field we'll get the value from, we need to use code in this practice. So, I will add a code block component. Then, go to the PHP and HTML tab to add the code. This is the entire code I used to get the value of the fields and specify which ones to be got, and which won't. As for the remaining information such as the title of the section and the labels of the days, I will add later. Now, let's get through to understand each line of code. This is the variable to get the value of the field. Choose an option. This is its ID. We will create a condition based on the returned value to decide which fields will be got the value from. If the returned value is the first option, we will get the value of this group. This is the group's ID. I also create these two variables to get value from these two subfields. If this field is set as enter hours, all the values saved in this group will be displayed. Also, this group is clonable, so we have a loop here. Otherwise, when one of the other options is chosen in this field, we will get the value of that option. This is a select field. There will be a value and label of each option. We'll get the label only so use these lines of code. That's all for the code to display data of the first group. In the case that the second option's been chosen, I have these two variables to get values from these two groups. Since these two ones have the same structure as the first group, we will use the same code to get data from them. Just replace the ID of the fields and options with the corresponding ones. This section is for the weekdays. And this is for the weekend. Do likewise with the third option. We will get and display all the data saved in the 7 groups from Monday to Sunday. The structure of these groups are the same with the previous ones, so the code also is the same. As you can see, this is for the Monday group. This section on the page is now displayed like this because this code is for getting data from custom fields only. To have the display with some other texts like this, I add some heading, div tags and class for easier styling later, as you can see in the code. I've uploaded the code on GitHub. The GitHub link is in the video description and our blog post. You can refer to it. Now, there are some additional texts in the section already. Let's style it. For styling, you can go back to the Oxygen Visual Builder and style each component. You can also add some CSS class to style the component by adding a new style sheet. It displays exactly as I want on the front end. That's the end of today's tutorial. If you want to try more, please watch other tutorials on this channel. Remember to like, share, and subscribe us for more tutorials. Bye.